Hi there, thanks for checking out our repair channel. This is just going to be a kind of little review, show and tell of this unit a little bit. This is an old Gallagher unit. This is a Gallagher MPE2. This was made back in from about 83, 84 to about 87, 88, 89, maybe at the most. They only made this version of it for about 5-6 years back in the 80s. Not a real hard-hitting unit. It's about a 2 joule, give or take, units, somewhere in that range. The probably one of the lowest voltage ones Gallagher ever made. They peak out about 4,500 volts at the terminals here. This was based off the same kind of idea as like the AM800 and BEV3 and that stuff, but this was just a smaller brother version. You know, they had less power and all that kind of fun stuff. For being a low voltage one or an old one for just a few years, very, very, very reliable unit. You know, we get these in from time to time, this old style Gallagher stuff, but man, if you can get your hands on one of these older Gallagher ones from the 80s, 90s, up to late 90s, get your hands on one of them, because that's a really good generation of unit. I mean, even the old speed rights that were made back in the 80s and the 90s, those were really well built as well. So if you can get your hands on either one of those styles, grab one. I mean, if you see it on a farm sale or state sale or whatever for like $50, $30, $10, whatever you can get it for, I'd buy one. I'd buy it. Take a chance on it, because usually it can be fixed for, you know, not too much money typically, depending on what's wrong with them. Not a lot of parts available for it. The main boards have been discontinued for about 10 years. Capacitors you can still get for them. Output boards you can still get for them. Transformers have been discontinued for about 8 years. But we have transformers for this one that will work in it just fine. This one needed a new capacitor and plugged it in. I think we replaced the green light bulb on it as well, but that was just superficial. It's just a neon bulb was burnt out. But good unit. Gallagher makes a pretty solid product, even still today. So the Snell name on there, if you're curious what the Snell name is, Snell back in the 70s and 80s and stuff like that, was like the main distributor for the Gallagher brand here in the States. I think back then they didn't have a bunch of, they didn't have like a main facility called Gallagher. It was called Snell Power Fence Systems. They were just a distributor for Gallagher, so all the stuff came to them, and then they just distributed it out to the other stores. And they used to have a few other like minor locations. Like there's one up in I think like northwest area. They had one in the northeast area towards like Ohio, and then they would ship out the different stuff to the different stores out there. And eventually Snell went away because Gallagher was having some financial trouble here in the States with the Gallagher brand. And then I don't know the whole story because I wasn't around back then with the stuff, but they eventually got rid of Snell altogether, and Gallagher took it over with their hands on it altogether. And then they combined all the distributorships. There was like 2 or 3 of them out there in the United States, maybe 3 or 4, combined them into one location. And then they took that idea of the way they were doing it, and just spread it out to the different stores. And then they've been successful at it ever since. So we'll plug it in here and power it up. So that's your Energizer OK light, which is power light, tells you the power's on. Is your Fence OK light, flashes every pulse. Takes about 3,000 volts or so to turn that light on. So if you're hooked up to the fence and the light's flashing, you know you should be doing good, because the fence isn't loading it down. If for some reason that light goes out, that usually means if it's hooked up to the fence, it usually means that you've got something dogging the unit down below 3,000 volts. See, it's about, we're hitting about 5,000. So it's between 4,000 and 5,000 volts, usually what these things put out. They're not a high voltage unit, but they do pack a nice little punch to them. It's hard to see it, but it's like I said, it's about a 2 joule unit, maybe 2.5, 3 at most, but it's probably a 2 joule in that range. So, but real reliable little unit. We'll take it apart here and let you see the inside of it real quick. It's old school Gallagher stuff on the inside. Plug it, I want to get shocked by it by accident. Even though with it being only 2 joules, it still gets you pretty good if you get across it the wrong way. That's the inside. There's the circuit board there. It's one of the later version circuit boards inside there. And transformer and output board and big old capacitor there. So a pretty good little unit. I mean, the ME100s look very, very, very similar to this, except they've got a bigger board. And this has only got 4 tabs that it plugs onto. The M800 and M1500 have a 5th tab, and they've got a bigger board. M800, this is a 30 microfarad capacitor in this one. M800 took a 40, and the M1500 took 2 30s wired in parallel, so they made it 60. And plus they had bigger board, bigger voltage multiplier circuits on there. But this is your output board. This is like for, besides it doing taking the voltage from the transformer underneath here, that piece right there, besides taking that and bumping it up, spitting it out through this board to the terminals, this also acts as a like a lightning protection board. That's what all these pieces are here. It also does a voltage dividing for your half power and full power and ground and stuff like that. A lot of brands have something like this now. Like if you look at a Zariba Blitzer 100 mile plus unit, they got that storm guard thing on the front of it. That's basically this. That's basically what this is. If you open up one of them storm guards, they got about, they're a little bit bigger than this, but they've got about 5 or 6 of them these little things going about that big around, maybe going all the way across there. That's basically what that does. It's just there to protect hopefully the unit on the fence and ground side from lightning spikes and stuff like that. But that's what those are for. I mean, a lot of brands back in the day from this generation had something like this. It may not have been the same thing, but it was an output board to protect from lightning transient voltages and stuff from the fence and ground side for protection on lightning and stuff. Some brands still do it today. Cyclops does it. Gallagher does it with some of their stuff. Power Wizard does it on some of their stuff. Speedrite, I think, does it too. Some brands do it really good. Some brands just have a little dinky little thing on there. That's just one little part and a spark gap, and it's just kind of a joke thing to put in there. I mean, why do you even waste the time of putting it in there when other brands do it better? So nice thing about the Zariba ones, you can take it off and not use it, at least, and then you get higher voltage out of it, because this thing does load because it is going across fence and ground internally on this thing, so this does lower the voltage at your terminals. So it would probably put out about 6,000, 6,500 volts if this board wasn't here. When you put this board in, it drops down to about 4,500 volts. On the M800s and stuff, it'll go from like 8,500 down to 6,500. M1500, it'll be about 11,000 down to about 8,000. So with those boards on there. But hopefully this is kind of like the way this one looks. If you got an old unit like this, doesn't have to be Gallagher, it can be basically any brand. But we work on all of them. Old style, new style. Weed burner types, we work on them things too. Solid state stuff, we work on that stuff too. Go to our website, it's fencerfixer.com. Fencer and Fixer, both spelled with an F as in Frank. There will be a little link in the description tab that you can click on and take you to the website. We do give free quotes, 18-month warranty on anything that we work on, and lightning damage is part of the warranty that we provide. So hopefully this was some benefit for you. If you've got any questions, get a hold of us. Go to our website, send us an email that way, or I think our email address might be down in the description below. But hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. And we'll be happy to take a peek at this unit for you. It's no cost to you to get it here, or no cost to you after it gets here. Pay the freight to get it here. But we'll give you a free quote if we can fix it. But until we do another video of how one works, or the inner workings of a unit or how to fix something, we will see you guys later.